Hey guys, welcome back. Happy Monday. Time to get started on the new week. So let's dive right in. So let's start out with Bitcoin as usual. We do see the continued red candlesticks forming, like what I've said on the previous video. Now, as I've said before, usually when I see a candlestick such as this one that has a long shadow towards the downside, the market will tend to fill in these prices with the real body candlestick. So you see that they started forming these red candlesticks where the widest part of the candlestick is covering these prices over here. Um, and so I really wouldn't be surprised if we see continued red candlesticks until we hit the $92,000 mark. And that's fine. I would say that is probably an okay time to dollar cost average. It doesn't have to be exactly at 92,000. I mean, as long as you're somewhere around this area, I think it's a good opportunity to buy. Now, that's not to say we won't go below 92,000, but from a technical analysis perspective, there's an equal chance of plateauing around here or going back up. So, the whole point of dollar cost average is not to time the market perfectly. It's simply to see if there's a good buying opportunity where the probability of upside and downside just about equals. But in any case, I think some people were hoping for a quote unquote Christmas rally. And, you know, today is already the 23rd, so 2 days until Christmas. Now, as you guys already know, the good thing about a cryptocurrency market is there's no holiday, there's no weekend, there's no off time. It's 24/7, 365 days a year. So, we still have 2 days um, for the Christmas rally to happen, but you know, I mean, it's all based on sentiment. Really, I mean, you should just be looking at the charts and investing day in and day out, regardless of the time of the year. So, if we just quickly shift our focus to the Bitcoin dominance, you can see that the dominance has now started to drop back down again, with the MACD showing signs of, you know, supporting that downside price action. And like I've said before numerous times, this could be either two things. People are selling off Bitcoin. So there's both a drop in price and a drop in Bitcoin proportion compared to the total market cap, or it is a rotation into altcoins where either people are swapping the Bitcoin to altcoins or people are simply purchasing more altcoins with cash. Um, and usually they're used interchangeably, but not always. When we're talking about the Fed cutting the interest rate, we talked about how there's also a potential rotation from cryptocurrency in general to traditional equities. So that could also be another point to think about. So to fully comprehend what is going on, of course, you have to look at some other major coins. So if you look at Ethereum, for example, you can see that unlike Bitcoin, a very similar candlestick with the long shadow to the downside, two red candles. Now the only difference is the Ethereum is quote unquote printing a large green candlestick. If you just compare this to Bitcoin earlier, the Bitcoin has a red candlestick. I'll bet a small one for today. But for Ethereum, the direction seems to be reversing back to the upside. So we'll see if this is a true reversal, or it could just be a bull trap. And then if you look at Solana, my favorite coin, we can also see something very similar. And this is, of course, interesting to see because for a while, Solana was going hand in hand with Bitcoin's price action. And now we're starting to see a little bit of deviation from that, if you will, which is expected if we were in a true altcoin cycle. And that just basically means Bitcoin is either plateauing or going down, whereas altcoins are going up. So that would be interesting to see. If we do, then, just like Ethereum, there's a possible reversal back to the all-time high, or it's simply a bull trap and we either plateau or go down from here. So from this one candlestick alone, it's really hard to say. Now, could you DCA? Yeah, I think it's a good time to DCA. I mean, the price is practically same as it was back in November, and you tell me, I mean, would I have not bought it back in November? Price is similar to back in July or May. So I think overall it's a good price. It's a fair price. That puts Solana's market cap at what, 92 billion, which I think it's fair. Okay, let's see what vector space is doing. Not a whole lot. You can see that with a lot of these even smaller projects based on the large cap coins, they show pretty similar patterns. So this is the same green candlestick with the longer shadow that we saw earlier, 2 red candlesticks, and then a green candlestick. Yeah, we'll just let this one marinate a little bit because it's going to be a while for this to, retest this resistance line. It has to break through, probably retest a little more before going up. And that is assuming that this will be a profitable project. So I'll just kind of leave it at that. Let's move on to meme coins, which is, of course, the hottest topic of this bull cycle. So let's start off with Turbo. Some Monday is the 23rd. Like I've said on the previous video, it's finally time to draw a new candlestick because I am using a weekly time scale, at least on Dex tools when I'm checking my meme coins. And so last week we basically got this big red candlestick, negative 23%, below the blue trend line. And in fact, even the highest price never broke through the blue trend line. And we're sort of in a danger zone, if you will. At the same time, I said, well, there's a good chance we're going to get a green candlestick of similar magnitude back to the upside, retesting the blue trend line. And I'm hoping that's what we see here, although it's too early to say. But the good part is, I mean, at least this wasn't, lower than this candle right here back in the end of November. So it's not like we're deviating too much away from the trend line. It's just we had a very significant pullback here. And that's just the way it goes with meme coins. Let's check out WIF. Very similar pattern. Very similar pattern. And that is most likely going to be the case for a lot of these quote unquote large cap meme coins. A lot of people are spread across these major meme coins. Um, Even if it's just like a trader or an investor who's into one particular type of coin. I believe when you look at the market as a whole, there's going to be a pretty similar distribution of people buying these same coins, which probably explains the similar pattern over here. But I believe a lot of the investors and traders are going to be similar to me in terms of their risk appetite and portfolio composition. They probably have, two or three high conviction meme coins along with maybe 5 to 10 other ones that they bought a long time ago or put a low amount in. And these people are either continuing to dollar cost average or, you know, probably doing something similar, which is, of course, being reflected on these charts. Um, so not a whole lot to say with dog with hat as well. Like I said, this would have been a good dollar cost average opportunity. I think this is a fair price, about 2 billion in market cap. Has a good number of holders. Um, the good thing about meme coins is, all the supply is already circulating, and crypto in general is transparent. I suppose the other bad thing is, you can have something called rug pull, where I guess for now it's completely legal. And I talked about this before, so lots of scammers, lots of rug pull in the crypto world. But I always say, oh, why are there so many scammers? Why are there so many rug pulls? And it's because there's also a lot of money to be made, a lot of potential profit to be made still in the crypto world. I mean, people are making thousands of dollars on a daily basis, if not millions. Although, even the people who post their $1 million profit on, on X, for example, just be careful. Just have a little bit of skepticism. Don't believe everything you see on the internet. That's gonna be my one advice. And let's look at POPCAT. Well, this is my favorite one for sure. It was a tough week last week, negative 33%. But we are bouncing back in a similar fashion. We didn't deviate too much from the trend line, arguably, although the current price is similar to what it was back in September, July. Certainly better than, the previous month, but yeah, it was a significant pullback. In fact, I was thinking to myself, okay, well, at this point, does it look similar to dog with hat? Because we've had such a significant pullback. First of all, if you don't retest the blue trend line, we might end up just going sideways for a few months. And if that is the case, you might even see something similar to what dog with hat did, um, where we're sort of plateauing, maybe drop even further before bouncing back up. I think the likelihood of that actually happening is fairly relatively less, just because we're so. I mean, I would say we're already almost 60% of the way in this bull cycle. And what I mean by that is, I mean, if you're a long-time investor of cryptocurrency and you have a better understanding of the the general strategy in cryptocurrency, then a lot of us started buying back around November and December of 2022. I mean, that was a very well-known fact that was heavily discussed even on the last cycle. Okay, once the 2021 cycle is over, you start buying back around December of 2022. So you had 2023, 2024 is almost coming to an end, and at least I'm predicting the bull cycle top around September of 2025. So we can arguably say that we're already 2 years in with around 1 year left. And if POPCAT were to just simply sideways and plateau, I mean, how many months do you think POPCAT is going to do that? Like a similar time frame, so like March to December. Let's look at WIF. I mean, how many months did this plateau? So March to December. WIF is literally at the same price that it was back in March. So I just don't think that is going to sideways. Also, with the influx of cash from, um, it doesn't even really have to be, large institutions. I'm just talking about everyday retail traders and investors. We're going to see a lot more influx of cash from the retail side. So I just don't think it's going to go sideways like it did back in, 2024, this past year. I think now we're going to see more explosive movements, more volatility, more market making. So, my prediction is we retest the blue trend line and we go up from there. And, we still have a long ways to go because, I saw some people post about, oh, well, PopCat's market cap this bull cycle is going to be, um, you know, like $40 billion, or it could be $100 billion. Well, I mean, how fast do you think this thing can go up at this point? Once it's past the $1 billion market cap. I've seen some crazy price movements, but I mean, I imagine, you know, the price movement will get slower and slower as the market cap goes larger and larger. So, I think what I do expect to see is some, similar pattern such as this, but nothing too crazy for now. And we'll see once the narrative goes back to meme coin, because right now a lot of people are talking about RWA, AI, gaming, all that other category, but I really do believe that meme coins is going to be the biggest project or category of this bull cycle. And all that other stuff, like the real world application stuff, like AI, gaming, RWA, they will have their own opportunity to grow. But I just don't think the the general understanding is there yet in the general population. But meme coins is very easy to understand for the general population, and people want to make money. It's just human nature. So just like NFTs back in 2020, 2021, I believe this cycle is going to be meme coins. And just as a reminder, my highest conviction coins are PopCat, Dogwoof Hat, and Turbo. All right, thanks for watching and listening in. Bye bye.